Hello friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink with another ice cream themed card with a twist. Just one of those things where my brain just starts rolling and thinking of ideas and it just starts to escalate. And the end result was this card. So I'm using the ice cream scoop and cone wafer die set. I've already done a video on it. I'll have it linked at the end of this video. I did a slimline card with like a rainbow of ice cream. Love it. Super fun. This one I was thinking kind of banana split colors. I don't know. These are the colors I chose. So I die cut the pieces from Simon's Smooth White Cardstock. The cone pieces I ink blended with Simon's Cappuccino and MOCHA Pawsitively saturated inks. I'm just working on scrap paper using my little blending brushes. So I did that. And then for the ice cream itself, I was thinking like raspberry ice cream. And then I ended up adding like dark brown spotter. So it's like chocolate raspberry. Oh, I've already raved about this is what my third ice cream card in the last week or whatever. I love ice cream. Love it. I'm super picky about ice cream, but I also love it. So anywho, I used guava and watermelon positively saturated inks for the ice cream. And then the whole idea that really started rumbling this card, I was thinking of the ice cream being dropped, it's on the ground. So I was like, how am I going to make that look proper? And then I remembered there was this wafer die in the Night Sky wafer die set that came out last year, whenever it was. It came out a long time ago. It's still available, but there was cloud wafer dies in there. And this cloud wafer die was perfect. Just meant to be. So I die cut that from white cardstock as well. Blended those same two colors, the guava and the watermelon. So I've got everything blended. And then my main sentiment, this is the CZ Design Expletive wafer die. This also came out whenever, last year, I think. Pretty sure it was last year. I've had it sitting here, and it's funny. I could use this wafer die on every card, especially birthday cards. I'm the worst. I am the absolute worst. I don't know if I've ever given hardly anyone a birthday card on time, let alone remembered. I'm awful. I could use this on everything. It's I forgot to send you a thank you card. I forgot to send you this. I forgot this. I forgot I forget everything. Anyway, I like this wafer die. So I blended watermelon and cherry inks on the top piece. These other two pieces are going to go underneath to stack it up. And normally I just stack them, adhere them together, don't care. But I wanted to blend more around the edges. I'm not trying really hard to get a smooth blend on these other two pieces because they're going to be underneath. But adding the ink around the edges, it, gives that ink so that there's not white layers of cardstock underneath. Not the end of the world if there is. More often than not, I don't care. But I thought, why not do that this time? Just cause. So this is also a nice way if you don't have a lot of color cardstocks. Because I know when I first started out, that was, color cardstock, building up that stash takes a long time and it ain't cheap. So having white cardstock and then ink and then some blending brushes and you can do, create whatever you want. So that's why I've been showing a lot more lately, just using some ink blending. Plus you can get more effects and whatnot with ink blending. So with these, I stacked them together and then I decided I wanted the blend to be a little bit more obvious. So what I did was I have the cherry ink, which is, a nice deep red, and I have the mocha ink. Because when it comes to reds, if you want to deepen a red or intensify it, adding brown is the way to go. You can also, if you have a burgundy color, a little bit of purple might work, but brown is usually the way to go. And this looks a lot darker now, but again, with these inks, as it dries, it just softens and it just gives it a bit more of that ombre look that I was kind of going for. So it goes from the lighter color at the top and then it just sort of deepens as it gets down to the bottom of the sentiment. So I blended all those together And then I wasn't 100% certain if I was going to use the outline around the Expletive wafer die. So I have that sitting off to the side, and I'll get to that in a second. I wanted to assemble my little ice cream cone first. So again, applied adhesive to the back. I'm using just my craft tacky glue. The bottle that I have the fine metal tip on. Again, I'll have a link to that. I just ordered the metal tips, screwed it on to one of my bottles of craft tacky glue, and that's my detail bottle. And then I keep a pin in it, just a rust proof, like stainless steel little sewing pin, you know, with the little pearl on the end of it. Keep that in there at all times, and this bottle has yet to ever clog. So adhered the pieces for my ice cream cone, and then I decided I was going to use the outline for the Expletive. So I die cut that from white cardstock as well, and then I just lightly blended lemonade ink with a large blending brush over that. That's what I mean by like kind of banana split sort of colors. And then this is when I decided I wanted to add splatter, of course. So I'm using ground espresso distress paint. Put my pieces in my splat box, put the paint on a palette, added just a little bit of water. I don't always use water with distress paints. It just depends on the color. It depends on the consistency I'm going for. Yeah, just is what it is. So I did add a bit of water, splattered this, still managed to get splatter absolutely everywhere. Like it's all over my ink pads. I don't know how I don't know. But at the same time, I kind of don't care. I got splatter all over everything. It just is. So anywho, I set those aside to dry. And then I also pulled out the Streamer Ribbons wafer die set. I've used this in videos as well, and it's just a favorite for birthday cards. So I die cut those from white cardstock, and I did the exact same thing. I used the same colors and just quickly blended over these pieces with those colors and my little blending brushes so that everything's got, you know, coordinating colors going on here. So quickly blended all of those. And then my splatter is dry. I die cut a piece of white cardstock with one of Simon's basic rectangle wafer dies. So I've kind of got a rough idea of how I'm going to assemble my, you know, ice cream and my sentiment. And I have this CZ Design stop drop party stamp set. And I stamped the one sentiment onto it with MOCHA ink. And then I just took a little piece of Post-it tape and masked off the sentiment basically. I just didn't want to get, because knowing my luck, I'd get splatter all over it and it wouldn't be legible. So mask that off, and then I'm going to do more splatter. But this time I'm going to do some pink and sort of red color. I have a Kitsch Flamingo Distress Paint, and I have Festive Berries Distress Paint, but I don't think this is available anymore because Ranger discontinued a bunch of colors of Distress Paint several months ago. So, yeah, I will link to just Candied Apple. Red is red. In the scheme of paint, when it comes to actual ink colors, they're all different, 100%. But any red's going to work. So I just mixed the pink and red together. And again, added a bit of water, did some splatter. I ended up making a big old mess again with the splatter, especially when I add the red, but it's not the end of the world. So splattered this panel. And then, yeah, when I added the red, I got like a big line of paint on there, but not going to matter because it's going to get covered up. So I just didn't care. Thankfully, it was like it chose a good spot to mess itself up because I was like, oh, I'm already putting something there, so I don't have to worry about, you know, I always say like cover it with a die cut, cover it with some bling, but if it's like a big line like that, it's like, but it's going to get covered, so we're not going to worry about it. So I had let that dry, and then I used another sentiment from the Stop Drop Party set and stamped that on the inside of my card base, which is another A2 4¼ by 5½ inch smooth white note card. And then I adhered my splattered and stamped panel. And then I adhered all these different little streamer ribbons. Once those are adhered, I just flipped the card over, trimmed off the pieces hanging off the edge. And then I'm going to adhere the die cut sentiment to its outline. And then I can adhere my, you know, messed up ice cream cone that has been dropped. My dog would love that if that happens. You think I love ice cream? You should see my dog when people have ice cream. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, it ain't safe around him. He will take it from you. Anyway, adhered everything to the outside of the card. And then I had extra streamers left over, which was perfect. So I could put those on the inside of the card, trim off the excess. And then I'm going to add a little bit of bling. You know, gotta have splatter, gotta have bling. So I have some Trinity stamps. Are they bronzed? I always forget the name of them. Bronzed brown pearls. So put a few onto the card. Once I was happy with the placement, I'm just going to adhere these into place with craft tacky glue. And then I'm going to pair this card with a dark brown envelope, and that's going to finish it off. So this was a lot of fun. It's got a little bit of a snarky sentiment, you know, perfect for belated birthdays and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, this ice cream and that cloud wafer dot, I don't know, it all just came together and I had loads of fun. I love the colors too, you know, just one of those things where it just works. So as always, I will have a link below the video to my blog post, link to all the supplies I use. You can check that out below if you're interested. Thank you all so much for watching, and especially for commenting and thumbs upping. It makes a huge difference. It helps a ton. I very much appreciate it, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye.